Hello Virgo, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your July 2022 monthly check-in reading for you. So what do we need to know for the sign of Virgo? What's going on for you, Virgo? If you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify from there. So we have the Hermit. So with the Hermit energy, Virgo, this is your card. So this represents illumination in the darkness. So there is a mystery going on within your life right here, and you need some clarity on the situation. It's funny. So I wanted to do your reading last night, but then I was shuffling my decks because I like to pre-shuffle everything before I go into the next reading. And the card that fell out was the Sun. So I wanted to wait until the Sun came out. And I kind of feel like this is important for you right here because the sunlight is shedding illumination, right? And so that's what the Hermit is doing. He carries the light of the sun in his lantern. So some sort of mystery within your life, you're going to have clarity on the situation. Now, here's the thing about it. You might still have questions. However, the biggest question that you have, that's going to be illuminated to you. So let's see, what's going on for Virgo? What do we need to know? So what I like to do is I like to pull 3 cards from the Revelations Tarot and then clarify from there. So this deck does have reversals. What do we need to know for the sign of Virgo? Oh, I'm going to pull that card because it jumped. I usually don't like to pull jumpers though. So we have the 5 of Wands, the 6 of Pentacles in reversed, and we have the 9 of Cups in reversed. So what's being illuminated to you right here, Virgo, is that someone is squandering their gifts, okay? So the 6 of Pentacles upright means someone is being generous to a situation. However, when it's in reverse, this represents just giving out to different things right here. This 5 of Wands represents this is actually a real fight that's going on within your life. And the 9 of Cups in reverse represents that a wish that could be fulfilled, you're choosing to turn it down, like you do not want to have this wish right here. So this could be a representation of people fighting over money, so fighting over a will, something that's being given to a situation. So there could be, a potential to move up within your company. However, there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of bickering. But with this 9 of Cups, you're going to realize something. Someone is not who they say they are. Someone who you think is a good person or a good situation, you're going to have illumination saying that this is not truly your wish because it's coming with this fighting energy. And here's the thing about companies. Certain companies want you to fight over a position, right? They want to see who's going to be top dog, who's going to be the most aggressive, who can we promote right here? And I kind of feel like you're realizing that and you're saying, I don't even care that much about whatever this is. Like other people can fight over this situation, but you don't want to. Because you're realizing it's not a friendly competition, like people are letting loose their true colors. So let's clarify this energy for you, Virgo. Why is the 6 of Pentacles in reverse right here? What do we need to know for this situation? So we have the 2 of Swords and the Magician. The Magician represents like the grand astrologer, someone who's very skilled within a situation, but you're blocked off to this. So someone wants to give you something or someone is spending all of these things. So this could represent that a magician is casting a lot of spells right here and not really focusing on a certain situation. So what I'm seeing right here is that someone doesn't have focus in their life. This could be you or it could be another person, but there is no actual focus. And maybe that's what you're blind to. Maybe you have a lot of different things going on right here because you can spread yourself thin, Virgo. But here's the thing. If you're not giving all of your time and attention to each individual thing, I kind of see that, your time and energy is being wasted. The 5 of Pentacles and the Empress. You're fighting over a worthless situation, all right? Like, it looks like the Empress, but in reality, it's just worthless. Like, imagine working at a job that seems like a good thing. However, everyone is supposed to get promoted, and they want to see who's the most aggressive, who's this, who's that. But you're fighting over something worthless right here. I kind of feel like you're spending your time and your talents on something that you shouldn't be spending it on. Like you're giving away this time and energy for free, and maybe you don't even know that. Let me get you one more card. The the Six of Pentacles upright. You need to conserve your energy. You need to give it to the right people. You're just handing out your energy to this person and to this person and to this person. You can't see it because I feel like you're very skilled within a situation. So what you need to do is you need to hold on to certain things and give it to the right situation right here, because you don't need to fight over whatever this is. Whatever this is, it's worthless in the end. It's the Five of Pentacles Empress representing that double clarification of Taurus right here. It looks appealing because that's the thing about Lucifer. That's the thing about Venus, is that it can look appealing. However, at the end of the day, it's still, if you look at the Christian idea behind Lucifer, it's still a fallen angel. Like it's still not from heaven anymore. Does that make sense? So everyone is fighting over something that's fallen right here. Fallen down to the Five of Pentacles. The Nine of Cups, the Chariot, with the Ace of Swords. You're going to have victory over whatever this is. You're going to have the clarity and realize that this is not the wish that you want for yourself. Your time and your energy should be spent on something different. Let's look at that. What is your time and energy supposed to be spent on? The Fantasy, the Temperance, and the Six of Wands. Finding the true cups will give you the victory. So the Seven of Cups, the Temperance, and the Six of Wands. The Seven of Cups represents there are a lot of fantasies within your life. However, there are a lot of different paths to take. Allow the Angel of Temperance to choose the two cups for you because they know which ones you need. You have a lot of options right here. That's the thing. You have a lot of different things that you can do. You have a lot of different ways to spread your time and spread your energy. Allow the angel to choose the proper paths for you. It may be just one or two, okay? But right here, I kind of see like with the Six of Pentacles, you're spending it on a lot of different things, whatever it is, your time, your attention, and money. With this Seven of Cups right here, you're perplexed by the situation. You're like, I'm just going to give to each one of them equally, but here's the thing. Some of these cups are worthless. There's no reason to fight, and that's what this is right here. You're looking at a cup, being enamored by it. You're like, wow, it's such a beautiful cup, but at the end of the day, it's going to lead you to like a tower or Medusa or something. Allow the Angel of Temperance to choose the two cups for you that you need. So here's the thing. Three of the cups are actually okay. One of them is wealth, one of them is victory, and one of them is divine alignment right here, the cup of life. Allow the Angel of Temperance. As you can see, the Angel of Temperance is kind of sitting in the Seven of Cups at the top. If you can't see that, go and Google the image of the Seven of Cups and the Temperance and then look at the top cup. The robe is very similar. So that's what gives you the victory in the situation. The wreath is right here. The angel is going to choose the proper wreath for you. As you can see, there's the wreath on the Six of Wands, and then there's the wreath within the Seven Cups right here. So I kind of feel like the angel is choosing you right here. So the angel is picking this cup and the one with victory. Divine alignment, divine alchemy. So what does Virgo need to do in the right time? That's the illumination, because remember, the Hermit is illuminating. The angel is illuminating with the third eye. Surrender to the divine. You don't have to do anything. You have to see things from a higher perspective and from a higher point of view. That's what the angel wants you to do. The angel wants you to hang yourself upside down and kind of like this self-sacrifice. You should not try to play this wish right here. You should not play along with whatever this is. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. If there's a lot of fighting for something right here, then it's not good for you. It's kind of like, you know, think of like Black Friday when everyone's trying to get all that cheap shit that you could just get at any other time during the year, but it's like supposed to be super low price, but people are fighting. Like, is it really worth it at the end? Because eventually that stuff goes on sale, because most of the time it's just overstock from like China anyway. Like, that's what this is it seems like so beautiful, but ultimately, why would you put yourself in a dangerous situation for garbage that looks appealing, Virgo? You'll have victory with this Chariot and the Ace of Swords. You're going to realize that this wish right here is not real. That's the thing, is that that's what the Hermit wants to illuminate to you, that there is a truth within your life, that something that you put a lot of energy in something that maybe you're expending a lot of time because you're putting force into something, because the magician has to put out energy, right? He has to alchemize with all four elements, and he has to create a spell. He has to put it into the universe. He has to put it into motion. What it's saying is that maybe you're putting in some energy and it's not working out, but it's not supposed to. So it could be read two ways. Maybe some of your spell work isn't working out, but it's not supposed to because it's not good for you. Or it could be that you've already put out the spell work and you can't see that you're putting in so much energy and time to something that's just trash. Now, generally, the card of Venus is a beautiful card, okay? The Empress is a beautiful card. But with the Five of Pentacles coming out on top of the Empress, it makes me question it. It makes me think that it's not what it says it is. It's like, imagine a mansion, but it's built on a really bad foundation. Like, okay, so you have a mansion, but it's going to sink into the mud in like 10 years. Or you have a mansion built in a flood zone, right? Or you bought a $10 million piece of property on the fault line in California, and then it breaks off into the ocean. Like, that's that kind of energy right there, Virgo. You're putting a lot of time and effort into something that is not worth it. A lot of fighting, a lot of chaos. You're spending all of this time. You need to control how you spend your energy right here, how you spend your magic with this magician. I feel like the Temperance card is going to actually illuminate to you. Maybe you're forcing something. I kind of feel like you're forcing something instead of letting something come naturally to you. You're forcing a situation. So kind of like, you know, how I said I pre-shuffled and I waited till this the sun came up because I saw the sun card. I didn't force the reading. I know that I should have probably gotten like 3 or 4 more messages out there. However, why would I try to force this? I know some people make, you know, businesses out of it. However, if you have, you know, a lot of subscribers and you have, you know, a business on the side and you're investing properly, like, you don't need to force messages. People will be happy with the messages that they receive because it's going to be from the angel itself, okay? That's kind of what I'm seeing for you. That's that victory with the chariot ascending, because, you know, the prophets never died in the Bible. The 2 prophets, the ones that were brought up to heaven, they ascended and they saw something with their own human flesh eyes, okay? Because they never technically physically died. So they saw the light in their own fleshly bodies. And that's kind of what I'm seeing for you, is this ascension energy. Don't try to chase a fantasy when it doesn't feel right for you. Don't try to force this situation. Allow the angel of temperance to divinely align you. The three of wands, sending out a message and letting the message come back to you. You sent out a message to the universe saying, I need a message to deliver to someone, or I need this to work out. And the universe is saying, okay, sit tight. You've sent out your ships. I'm going to send you, you know, the proper message back. Just wait for it. And then when your ship comes in, you get the letter and then you read it. And that's what it is, okay? It's very controlled energy, Virgo. You're not just squandering your time, your resources, whatever, all right? So maybe that's something that you need to realize right there. Maybe you need to, like, start focusing on more sustainable revenue within your life, so you're not having to do all these different things, spreading yourself too thin. Focus on more sustainable things, and then have other things on the side, you know, that supplement the situation for you, okay? The King of Pentacles, yeah. Growing your own wealth right here, more Taurus energy. So the King of Pentacles is coming out. We have the Empress. So we have 3 cards of Taurus right here. But this card is coming out. Allow the message to be sent to the King of Pentacles. Find other more sustainable ways to do something. Don't try to force a message, because I feel like you're going to have more popularity and fame with this 6 of Wands if you just let it come naturally. If you, like, let the universe guide you. Even if you feel like you have to be on a schedule, don't. Just have another sustainable source of income. Do something else. Like, I don't know. Don't try to force projects. For example, it'd be weird if we got the 8 of Pentacles, but, like, imagine you're a craftsman, right? And you're a woodworker. People are coming to you because you are a woodworking craftsman. You create something very beautiful, and they want it perfectly cut and crafted, right? They don't want to go to Walmart. They don't want to go to fucking IKEA. They don't want to go to whatever to get some, mass-produced bullshit. They want you to do the work for them, but they want it done properly. You cannot rush the energy. Okay, Virgo? That's the thing with this magician. You're trying to rush out all these spells and whatever, but you have to allow the message, you have to allow the craft to come back to you. Because here's the thing about artists. They can take their time. Because if you're a craftsman and you're really, really, really good at what you do, people will pay a lot of money for what you have, okay? Because they want your time. They'll pay more money. They'll bid for your time. They'll be like, oh, that person offered you $10,000 to do, that woodworking with the oak and the mahogany. No, I'll give you $20,000 and bump this person down. No, I'll give you $30,000. Like, that's the sustainable thing. You can take your time and create it and perfect it right here. And then when you finally done it, take a picture or show it off, whatever, of this massive, beautiful work that you've done for yourself that's not rushed. The Knight of Pentacles coming out. You can't rush this situation. It has to be done perfected and crafted properly because, perfectly and crafted properly because the Knight of Pentacles can't make a mistake. Okay, because he carries the King's money. He carries the King of Pentacles' money. He has to move it from one place to another. He has to know the route. He has to make sure that his guards are sent out before that chariot with the actual gold goes through. He has to make sure that everything goes smoothly because if the King's money gets stolen, that's a big deal, right? It falls on his head. So there has to be a proper plan and a proper execution for you. The Two of Cups coming into alignment with the Page of Swords right here. I kind of feel like you'll get small little messages, small little downloads. Like, here's the thing. If you feel stumped on a project, don't try to force the project. That's what happens when a lot of people get writer's block, is they try to force the thing because they're like, oh, I'm on a time limit. Oh, I'm on this. But here's the thing. Like, the Da Vinci Code took years and years to write. He had other things that he was doing. However, that was his magnum opus, right? And it made a movie, and it made millions and millions of dollars, and people to this day still write books about it, or not books, but theses on it, and they still do in-depth research. That's kind of what I'm seeing for you, Virgo. You'll receive tiny little bits of information, and then once you receive like it all, you can put it all together and formulate what you're trying to do right here. The Hierophant, yes, more Taurus energy. That's the keys right there, the keys at the bottom of the ground. It's funny because I pulled, or I'm using the picture of the keys, so Hierophant energy. Do some research as to what the keys on the ground mean at the Hierophant's feet. Okay? The Ten of Wands. Yeah, you're trying to force a situation instead of letting it come naturally to you. The Nine of Cups upright. Yeah, don't do that. That's all it is. Don't force a situation. Feel comfortable in this, okay? I know you might have a lot of other things, people wanting your time, people wanting your attention, but if you feel like the messages are becoming blocked, regardless, people are going to come to you anyway, okay? Let's pull another card for this Hermit energy. I don't want to use the Tarot of the Vampires because it's not dark. Let's see. What deck should I use? Use this one. The Five of Wands coming out. The Eight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles. And the Devil. People will fight over your work regardless. If you give them what, like a channeled thing that is like top tier, or you're creating something that's top tier, that's better than a lot of people, people will fight for your time and attention. The Knight of Pentacles, you delivering this properly gifted craft to the Page of Pentacles right here. People who don't know how you did it. They're just receiving it because they may have paid you for the situation. The Two of Pentacles, that's what brings the harmony. Here's the thing about the Devil with this reading. This is funny. So a lot of classical musicians were claimed to have been possessed by the devil during their time period, But in reality, most of them had just gone crazy because of syphilis, but they knew the ins and outs of music theory. Music theory is such a hard concept to understand. It has tones, it has pitches, scales, cadences, arpeggios, chords, inversions, blah, 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 right? You have the majors, you have the minors, the major keys and the minor keys, the major arcanas, the minor arcanas, right? And within the keys of music, right here, the keys, like you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then it goes back to C, right? Then you have the C sharp, D sharp, and then if you go backwards, you have like D flat and then C flat, right? Those are the keys. Music is a key to something. Music is magic, right? So the keys on like a musical instrument actually unlock a whole theory and a whole process behind it, okay? Music is within everything. You go to a mall, you go to radio, you pull up music wherever you are. You go to a movie and it has music. That's the thing about that time period, was that the musicians were so good at musical theory, they could craft something so perfectly and change the complete mood of someone's brain. And that's what this is. It's understanding something so in depth that you understand the major and minor keys, the major arcana and the minor arcanas. And that gives you the thought process. That gives you the intellect, Virgo, okay? And people are going to say, a lot of people say that, I don't even want to call people out, but some people have said that I get my powers from the devil or whatever. In reality, it's because I've studied a lot of different things. And I wait. So maybe that's what you need to do too. Wait for the proper time. Wait for the proper meaning. Make people think it is from the devil. Okay, Virgo? That's the thing. It's Capricorn energy. It's just a sister sign to you. It's not from the devil. It's that you understand something inside and out that people are baffled by it. Like, okay, go and look at some Greek and Roman statues. There are some Greek and Roman statues where they were so good at craftsmanship, like a veil on someone's face. How do you craft a veil through stone? Like, type in a stone veil statue, Greek or Roman time period, and you'll see like the face is coming through, but there's like this fabric piece, but it's crafted out of stone. So how did they make the face show through the fabric? They were masters, okay? And you can sit there and say, if people, who are ignorant will say, yeah, that's from the devil. They didn't know how to do that. Yes, they did. They had that talent. They didn't have to fight for it. They were so good at what they do that everything was perfectly done. They had all the tools and things, and they didn't rush the situation. They delivered it, and because they delivered something so perfect, people around these kings, queens, emperors, whatever, wanted them to do more work for them. So you have adaptability, rat, and red squirrel, conscientious, being extremely conscientious and being able to adapt to a situation. It's kind of like, how could I say this without starting an argument? Like two different brands, right? Certain time periods, like when Apple was like at their heyday, you could tell something was an Apple product because the way it felt in your hands, the way that it was smooth, the way that everything was done. They used to have mathematic engineers to craft the lids of the MacBook so that way the hinges would stay perfectly aligned. Like, they had a lot of things going on. During that time period, you could tell when something was Apple and when something was fake, or when something was something else, okay? That's what this is. You're creating something right here. You have the skills to do that. It just requires you being conscientious about it, seeing things from every angle during this time period. You have a craft. You have something going on within your life. Maybe that's what I need to clarify. What are you doing? The Nine of Swords. You have anxiety about it. And the Four of Pentacles. You have a project right here. And it's causing you a lot of problems. You're holding on to this project. So it could be a work project. It could be a home project, a home improvement project. but it's something that keeps you awake. It could be you writing a book right here, doing tarot online. You feel like you have to be on a time schedule, but you don't, because you're not going to deliver your best work if you feel that way. That's all this is. Let me get you a couple of spellcasting oracle cards. Prosperity with happiness. Here's the thing, take your time in whatever this craft is. It could be a home improvement project, you writing a book, you writing music, you doing whatever. Just during this month right here, and it's not saying to do this forever. Maybe you want to do it forever. Maybe this time period, it's like such a good time to actually display your showcase your skills. Take a break. I'm not saying to procrastinate, but take a break and walk away from it for just a little bit, maybe a couple of days, and then come back to it. During this time period, you're going to receive downloads. You're going to think about something that maybe you haven't thought about before. Maybe you want to try a different technique. Maybe you're going to have the idea to say, hey, I want to try it this way. And you try it on like a spare piece of wood or whatever. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. I'm glad I just stepped away from this. I'm glad I allowed myself to receive divine inspiration from Temperance. Oh my God. Mystery. I'm not going to pull those cards that fell on the ground because like half the deck fell. So mystery flipped over. So I'm just going to pull this one card. Well, I'll pull you one more. Mystery and begin anew. Maybe you're going to have to tear down this entire project to start something new. Okay? Or maybe you have something right here, but it's a good groundwork. Maybe it's not something that you think is a good job, but here's the thing, it's good groundwork. Maybe you can rework the situation. Now that you have what you need, just rework it, fine-tune it, okay? It's okay to start back at, the very first page and be like, you know what? I don't like the way I said that. Let me reiterate that. Let me change something. Let me add more character dialogue. Let me, say more in-depth things like, oh, the person swept their hair gently across their whatever face. Give more descriptions. Maybe you have a lot of mystery within your work right here. Maybe you need to clarify that more for people. But allow them to be baffled at the end. Like, how did you do it? Make them think like the composers used to be. They used to fuck with people in the church too. They used to write a lot of their music, especially during the Romantic period when the church didn't have that much control over music. They used to call their stuff after devils and demons just to mess with people. Because during the classical period, the church had such a tight control over music. Like, everything was like, Ave Maria and, all that kind of stuff. And then later on in the Romantic period, they were like, Mephisto's Waltz, the dance of Mephistopheles. Everything was all about demons and the devil and death and all that. And they were just really, truly trolling people at the end of the day. But no one could understand it because Liszt wrote his Transcendental Etudes. I don't know if I have Liszt over here. I think it might be on something else. He's over there somewhere. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeak. But, I think he's over there. Anyway, he wrote the Transcendental Etudes, and after he wrote them, people said, you couldn't have possibly written that. But he did, joy, rejoicing in the present, and hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. Just rejoice in it. Rejoice in the present moment. If you feel blocked off to something, chill. Okay, that's it. All right, sure. If I can't, why would you bash your head into a brick wall? You're not Aries. Maybe you have Aries placements somewhere. Maybe you have Aries placements in your rising or your moon sign or your 10th house, whatever, and it's constant. So let me get you a couple of talisman cards. So I broke the chair leg, and I had to, I put the chair leg back into the socket thing, so now it squeaks, and it's terrible to sit on, it's wiggling back and forth. I need to get a new chair. So Anne says, open your mind, connect with the higher power, yeah. Broaden your horizons and invoke wisdom. Invoking wisdom with the hermit and connect with the higher power with this temperance energy. Allow yourself to be connected. And here's the thing. Sometimes people try to force things all the time. Don't do that. In fact, all you need to do is just take a walk outside, go do some meditation, go do some deep breathing, step away from it. Now, I'm not talking like if this is your homework or something. I'm talking about like if you're creating a project and you just have like a mental block and whatever it is, just take a step back, do something else. Your mind will think about it in the background while you're doing and trying to enjoy something else. Go eat something, go take a shower, whatever it is. Don't try to force it. You have Ehwa's horse, earthly meaning moving, progress, travel, cooperation, and partnership. Spiritual meaning inner progress and duality of nature. Feho, which means cattle, success, abundance, opportunity, earned wealth, and good fortune. Spiritual meaning fulfillment, growth, expansion, prosperity, and happiness coming out right here. Fulfillment right here with prosperity and good fortune and abundance. So, yeah, that's the message for you, Virgo. Like, this is a very good message. It's basically saying patience is key. Patience is critical right here. Because the longer that you wait, the more you'll be blessed by the angel. Do not try to force these cuts out. Do not try to fight with yourself to force these things. Do not try to give more energy to a situation. Allow the angel to bless you, to connect you with that higher power. Because sometimes all the magician has to do is he has to meditate. Yeah, it's great to cast spells and make it rain and, make fireballs and whatever. But sometimes you have to connect with that power that gave you the power in the first place. Okay? So anyway, Virgo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'll talk to you later.